All right, the Washington Commanders already have the guy that everybody wants. Now it's time to just simply lock him up. But I want to talk about a few different things when it comes to your star wide receiver, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But before we get into that, let me tell you about what we do on this channel. My name's Craig. Me and my buddy Chris started this channel a few years ago. We are Detroit Lions fans. Most of you know that if you're watching this channel, but we love talking about teams that the national media ignores. Look at that right there. Look at where am I pointing? Look at that. Look at that beautiful logo. Just in case anybody was wondering, still just love that. All right. With all that being said, couple things that we need to talk about here with your Washington Commanders. Terry McLaurin is up for a new contract. And we're going to talk about that contract. We're going to talk about the kind of money he deserves, but we're also going to talk about the way that this regime and the way he's handling it that's better, that's not leading to this crazy, nasty, bitter divorce that you've seen some other teams go through. That's just in the national media. We saw it happen with CeeDee Lamb. That was ugly when that was going on. We've seen it with Jamar Chase. We saw it a little with Justin Jefferson. One team that fully got out ahead of it was the Detroit Lions with Amon-Ra St. Brown, but the Commanders seem to be handling it in a pretty good way. Here's the contract that Terry McLaurin currently has. He is in the final year of a 3-year, $68 million contract. That's an average annual value or salary of $22.8 roughly million. All right, so $22.8 million is the rough amount that averages out to be. His cap hit this year is $25 million. So the question is, how much is he going to continue to cost to keep him around? That's the question. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about this too. All right, it says, for once, this is an article that I saw that I thought was absolutely fantastic. For once, there's no chaos in Ashburn. No front office fumbling. No scandal is dragging down the franchise. And according to the Commanders insider, Lake Lewis Jr., that's precisely the point. He said, if the only thing you can talk about is Terry McLaurin not having his extension yet, that's good stuff, he said on his show. The 29-year-old wideout is holding out, but quietly. He isn't posting cryptic messages, going to press conferences, or making any sort of PR move. Instead, he's quietly waiting. And by all accounts, so is the front office, because the deal, Lewis insists, will be done within the next 3 weeks. In other words, he's saying this is going to get done before training camp. So that's the thing that you have to do that. All right, he's coming off a great year. 1,000 yards receiving, 13 touchdowns, 1,100 yards receiving in 2024. He was good because he has Jaden Daniels. And here's the thing, all right? That kind of work doesn't simply get you to Pro Bowls. It also gets you paydays. Lewis says that $30 million a year isn't enough. It should be $32. He's self-made, and I think he's everything you want a football player to be. Terry McLaurin's great. Right, Terry McLaurin's great. He's always been kind of a cool, mild-mannered person. He has spent the entirety of his career with, look, this isn't a secret. We tell you it's non-biased on this channel. He's spent the majority of his career with trash quarterbacks. They haven't been good, all right? And now that he got a good one last year, all of a sudden the touchdown numbers skyrocketed. He didn't really get targeted a ton, but I would expect that to happen more now, especially when they are going to take even more of the handcuffs off of Jaden Daniels and let him rip it. All right, so yeah, Terry McLaurin's going to be very good. But how much should he get paid? PFF came out with their article of wide receiver rankings, the top 32 of the 2025 NFL season. You have your tier 1, which is crazy. It's A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. All right? I would definitely add Amon-Ra St. Brown and CeeDee Lamb to that, and I'd have a top tier of 5. But their tier 2 is Amon-Ra, Puka, CeeDee, Nico, and Tyreek. Tier 3 is where you find Terry McLaurin. That's where you have guys like Mike Evans. You have Drake London, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Brian Thomas, Devontae Adams. Like, these are all different players that we can compare what their contracts are to get an idea of what Terry McLaurin should be making. Now, he's doing extension. They haven't done it yet. So now I want to go ahead and let's take a look at the wide receiver situation, but also what the salary cap looks like for the Washington Commanders. This year, it doesn't matter that much, but you have the 19th most space. It's just barely in the bottom half of the league for available cap space, $21 million. That's fine. You're not signing him this year. What you're looking for is next year. He's not on the bill yet for next year. So you have $80 million almost in cap space. That is the 6th highest in the NFL. In 2027, you have the 5th highest cap space in the NFL. And both these years and 2028 are all without Jaden Daniels into his big contract. Then the final year, 2029, you know what? You only have 2 players on the books for that time. So you don't even have to worry about it. And those players aren't even actually on the books. All right? So those aren't things you look into. But you can sign him in this window where you can pay him because you're not having to pay Jaden Daniels big money yet. Do it. He's 30 years old. Why not do it? Now let's go ahead and look at different wide receiver contracts and see what they're making similarly. All right, so first, I went by average salary because I like to look at this as average salary. Do you want to play or pay a 30-year-old wide receiver for a 4-year contract? I don't know. But I think we can at least have the conversation about what it looks like. All right, so your biggest paid players, 40, 35, 34, those are guys in a league of their own. But are you telling me that Terry McLaurin doesn't deserve DK Metcalf money? They overpaid DK, by the way, $33 million a year. Are you telling me he doesn't deserve Amon-Ra money? Brandon Ayuk money? T. Higgins is a similar signing in the same tier that just got $29 million. A fair deal for right now. If I am the Commanders, I'm doing 3 years at $34 million a year. All right, because that way you get out of it before he gets uber old. Or I'm doing 4 years. I'm putting all the guaranteed money in the first 3 years, and I'm lowering that number to 32 to 31 million a year. That's what I'm looking at. And it's understandable at his age why he would be looking at that too. Now that puts him in the Tyreek Hill area. All right, but McLaurin has no signs of slowing down whatsoever. All right, Calvin Ridley at 28 signed a 4-year deal worth $23 million a year. He's not even close to the receiver Terry McLaurin is, right? Calvin Ridley was 29 when he signed. Tyreek Hill signed a 3-year, $90 million deal at 30. Like, we look at this. Stephon Diggs signed a 3-year deal with for $63 million at 31. Mike Evans signed a 2-year $41 million deal. Terry McLaurin's going to get the bag. And so some people might point to the Mike Evans. They might point to the Stephon Diggs. They might point to the Devontae Adams, who signed a 2-year deal, $44 million at 32. He's not those guys. He's better. And so I have no problem. I would say give him at least 3 years, $32 million, maybe even, or 3 years, $34 million, or maybe 4 years, $32 million. And just call it a day, shake his hand, and say thank you for being here for our awesome rookie quarterback. He's the guy everybody wants. Just keep him in-house. Because the one thing you can't afford to do, because you can afford him, the one thing you can't afford to do is not having an elite receiver for this season of your franchise when you have an inexpensive, fantastic rookie quarterback. Not rookie, but rookie salaried contract quarterback. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the content. We'll see you on the next one.